Welcome back to Studio 12 here in the south end zone of Kyle Field. The Friday of edition. Will and Matt return with you, and it's back.
Look at this
It
guy.
survived into 2017. It's back. He's back.
We missed him.
Couldn't run me out.
Yeah, that's right.
I
Did you
missed
miss
him for the
us?
record.
You didn't miss us.
I
did you?
missed you guys tremendously.
Look at this.
You know the voice. It's obviously very clear. The Red Zone is back, and so is Connor McQueen. And I already learned something interesting about you moving forward. In some ways, you're going to be remaining right here with our football program this semester.
Yeah, that's true. I'll be student coaching. Working most likely on the offensive side of the ball. Basically volunteering while I finish my degree, and I'll graduate in May, and then kind of see where it goes from there.
That's awesome. Is that something you've been interested in, wanting to do? Or you've kind of gotten with your role on the team. You've gotten a good taste of it, I would think.
Without
for
a
while.
doubt. And
yeah.
I grew up in a football family. Football has been my life, since I can remember. My grandfather was a coach for a long time, and it's been something that I've always wanted to do. And I got here at A&M. It was still something I wanted to do, and I found some great things in the Mays Business School, to where they presented me with some really good opportunities. And I kind of got away from wanting to coach for a while because I was excited about those opportunities. But after the season, I sitting down with my family and really talking with them, and I wasn't ready to let go of the game. And it was always going to be a big part of my life, and I realized that I wasn't quite ready to go. And I think that if I would have just moved on from here, I think 10, 15, 20 years down the road, I would have regretted not giving coaching a chance.
I mean, you're going to have to come back here a lot.
Right.
I mean, if you're right inside with the program, you're going to have to sit down in that chair quite a bit. But, that is good stuff. So it's good to have you still with the team. And like you said, you'll graduate in May with a master's in there too. So a lot coming up for you. Soon you'll leave the Red Zone behind. It'll be a distant memory for you. But we appreciate the time that you're coming back for 2017. Let's look back to 2016, the season, your final one, wearing the pads for Texas A&M. When you immediately think back to 2016, what are maybe the fondest memories you have of it all right now, even though we're not too far removed from all the action?
I mean, it really just the relationships that I built with a lot of the guys, because it's a lot different being one of the older guys, or being the oldest guy on the team. Being with that small group of guys that you've gone through so much with. Boone Niederhofer and Edward Pope. We were, I think, the only remaining guys here since the first that first day when we walked in on June 1st back in 2012, when we walked through those doors together, had that first team meeting, and here we are 4.5 years later, and we've gone through so much together, and getting to be good friends with guys like Trevor and Jake and Tanner Shorp, and really getting to expand my network, and just wanting to make an impact, and building relationships, and trying to teach a lot of these things to the younger guys who haven't seen all this. That way, put them in a better position to succeed throughout their career.
Mm-hmm. Connor McQueen with us. It's another edition of the Red Zone, officially the first of 2017. But if you joined us right off the bat, you know that he'll be with the team throughout the spring. He'll join us sporadically throughout the spring, but now we may just have you all the time if we know.
You can always say you're busy. Yeah. A good move the coaches pull is I got to watch film. I got to talk to. I got meetings. So you got all kinds of outs. Maybe even more outs than you had when you were a player.
That's I'm also looking forward to playing a lot of golf this semester. I got a membership at the campus course. So if
very nice. All right.
Being that I'm only in one class right now in 3 hours, I don't think I can pull the whole I have class card. So I don't. We're gonna see.
We can ditch a show and go golf. And
I'm sure we can bring some of this equipment on, and we can just do it on the road.
Yeah.
Yeah, it actually can do that. So we're in.
You can sit right between us in a golf cart.
Right. We go play the front nine. Yeah. Go to the halfway house, do the show, and then go play the back nine.
Oh man.
I'll drive the cart. You don't need to see me swing a golf club. It's not pretty.
How often do you get out to play golf? I mean, obviously, you probably didn't play much in the past while you're playing football. But is there do you have a handicap? Is there can you shoot in the 70s? I mean, what are we looking at here?
I usually shoot mid-80s.
Oh, you're probably too good for me. But
you don't get to play much during the. I mean, you can play a little bit in the spring, but definitely not in the fall. Most of the time, whenever we play, it's during the summer. Which in Texas is usually not the most fun to play golf in the summer because you're sweating through all your clothes after driving to the first tee. But it's usually whenever we get a chance to play.
Nicest course you've gotten to play?
Carlton Woods in the Woodlands.
Oh, yes.
That's a very nice course.
Played that course.
It's gorgeous.
They have the 4 caddies for you.
Mm-hmm.
They run out and they gauge your shot.
Right.
And I was like, this is beyond me.
They read the green for you. They tell you, how
Not
your putts are
going
to break.
That. I mean, like I said, this is beyond my game. I don't know if they're really even helping. But
any exotic type courses? Anything you've played on vacation that's been fun? Scenic backdrops? Anything cool like that?
Last spring break I went with my family to Cabo, and I got to play. I think it's either the Jack Nicklaus or the Arnold Palmer course in Cabo. But we've been fortunate enough. My family doesn't like cold weather at all, so we've gone to a lot of different warm weather beach locations. So I've played in Costa Rica. I've played a couple times in Hawaii. So I've played some pretty cool places.
Yeah, very nice, very nice. I'm over here. You got my mind somewhere else now. You guys can finish this up because that's where I want to be, someplace like that, especially with the weather.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's just brutal.
It's been killing me this week.
I know. We got to see some sun here.
With no sun, I can't get out.
It's coming.
Yeah,
it's coming.
Right.
One thing I wanted to ask you when we think about this spring for the Aggie football team and on into the season, it all kicks off in September when they go to the Rose Bowl to go play UCLA. There's going to be a quarterback competition. A couple of the guys you know very well because you sat in a room with them this year, and in Jake Ubanak's case in the past. You got Nick Starkle, you got Jake Ubanak. We talked about some early enrollees that are on campus right now, and they've got lockers over there in the Bright Complex. They're taking classes right now. One of them is Kellen Mond. I don't know how much you've met him or got to see him, but he'll be involved in it. Obviously, nobody offers up predictions right now because this competition is going to go on into the spring, could go on into the fall. But how do you look at it right now, maybe between those 3 guys, Nick, Jake, Kellen, and could another emerge?
With those younger guys especially, coming in, they're real excited, especially Kellen. And Nick Starkle's going to have an opportunity to play this year since he redshirted last year. They're hungry for knowledge. And so, we get here, it's it's the first week of school, and they're already wanting to start meeting with the coaches who are all out recruiting. So, it's a little tougher, but, that's where I can come into play, and, we can just sit down and talk football, watch tape, stuff like that, just go over some route concepts, like, bit by bit, just because they want to get into it right away because, we have that off period, but a lot of those guys, it's a time to get better whenever we have that off period, whenever we're away from the team, so you come back. And so, those guys are real excited. Jake's a real experienced guy. He knows the offense just as good as anybody else here. And so, he's doing things, physically to keep himself in shape, through the workouts and stuff. But we'll start throwing here pretty soon and kind of see where it goes from there.
Connor McQueen here on the Red Zone with us, a Friday edition of Studio 12. We talked on Wednesday's show, as Will said, about the early enrollees. Obviously, you came in June. But you've been here so long, you've seen guys come in January. And we talked a little bit about kind of the trend, that may be starting to trend that way a little bit. How valuable is a spring for a young guy, especially a guy that maybe comes in with some extra talent that they might expect to be a relatively immediate impact? How key is a spring for a guy to go through?
Oh, I think it's crucial almost. It's if you're going to have a guy come in early and play in a crucial – and you're expecting him to play in a crucial role – I think it almost needs to be done because the spring ball gives that time as a learning curve, and going through reps and stuff like that. It is a quick learning curve, but you get the chance to learn everything. That way, once training camp hits, because for the guys that enroll in June, now the NCAA has changed their rules, so they give you an allotted amount of time that you can actually meet with the coaches, so you can install some of the offense, but the coaches can't coach you out on the field, and so once fall camp starts, the guys that enroll in June, they're trying to learn the offense. They're trying to get in shape. It's their first few days in full pads in college, and their head's spinning to where those guys that come in January, they already went through that, and then they can compete for a starting spot whenever it comes time for fall camp.
And then, too, Will, with the head spinning and the second time through, outside of Terry Joseph, who's left to take a position somewhere else, the coaching staff is all intact. It's year 2 with Noel Mazzoni and his offensive staff back. I mean, that's got to be a big-time boost, too, where everyone already knows what's going on offensively.
Definitely. And you can see that all throughout college football. There is a significant trend in that offenses usually take a pretty significant leap in year two from year one, because not only is it a new offense for all the players, but it's a new set of players for the coaches. And the coaches are trying to figure out who does what well, and how an offense succeeds, what we do well, what we don't. And it gives you a chance to go back on the drawing board, cut some plays that weren't good, and really work on the things that that made us successful last year going forward.
One of the things that's going to be a bit new is the receiving corps, because when you say goodbye to Josh Reynolds, Ricky Seals-Jones, and Speedy Noyle, I mean, that's some talent that stepped out the door there. And I think of these 7-on-7 sessions that are going to take place. Christian Kirk, does he have to now be the flat-out leader of that group, and does it have to be at sessions like that so those guys can be up to par, up to speed when spring ball and even August camp rolls around?
I'll say this about Christian: it doesn't have to be him. I don't think he'll let it be anybody else but him.
Mm-hmm.
Just that's the kind of guy that he is, and the kind of leader that he is. And the type of competitiveness that he brings to the table, that he's going to be the leader of this offense. And I'm excited to watch it flourish because of that kid's work ethic and how it'll just permeate throughout the rest of the team. And I don't think it's just at those 7-on-7 meetings. Or those 7-on-7 workouts. It's in the meeting room.
Mm-hmm.
It's doing extra work, stretching, flexibility stuff, doing rehab, prehab in the training room. And then also just during the regular workouts. I think all of that, his leadership really flourishes and shows throughout the team.
Yeah, certainly. Some slack will have to be picked up for that group. But, I mean, like you said, and with Christian, it's 2 words. It's work ethic. I mean, his extra reps, extra passes he catch. I mean, it's fun to watch him play, but even funner, I guess, just to watch him go to work and his mentality of the game. So running back seems to be in good hands because you got Travion Williams and Keith Ford. It's a group, but it always takes more than 2, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
When you think about running back. So, yeah, does it mean guys like Kendall Bussey? It's kind of got to be their time.
Right.
There's always a point in a student athlete's time where it's kind of got to be your time on the field, and there's guys all over the offense where this 2017 season, it has to be theirs.
Right, and I think Kendall Bussey showed some really good flashes last year in his limited amount of playing time, that he can be that kind of back, and whether he is playing in a first down kind of role or just kind of spelling guys and going in on third downs, I think he gets better in pass protection. He could really help this football team.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It'll be interesting to see him this year. Yeah, a lot of guys. There's a lot of talent back, but there's some talent out the door, and I guess everybody faces that a little bit in every college football season. But we've got Connor McQueen with us. It's another edition of the Red Zone, the first of the 2017 season. And for this edition, we said don't worry about a guest because we've got it built in this time. So
no BYOG this time.
Yeah. But on the other side of the break, we're going to introduce you to somebody here at 12th Man Productions. He's our engineer, Jesse Janoski, and he's going to be – it's not Halloween, not even close to Halloween, but he'll be in costume. And I'll explain more on the other side of the break. This has to do with the Army-Navy football game that was played in December. We'll get our guest in here in costume. We'll explain more on the other side of the break when the Red Zone
Looking
continues.
forward to it.
We're back. It's the Red Zone. Connor McQueen is with us, and we're about to close out this Friday edition from Studio 12 in the south end zone of Kyle Field. I was explaining a little bit before the break, but perhaps I didn't do a good enough job, Connor. We've got our guest in here. He's in costume, but we're on radio, so I guess I should have explained this a little bit more for our YouTube audience.
Correct.
Yes. You can catch the Red Zone each episode on the Aggie Athletics channel of YouTube. And if you go there to catch this one, you'll see our guest, Jesse Janoski, engineer right here at 12th Man Productions. And today we salute the Admiral as he has stepped on in full Navy gear, and I'll explain why. A couple years ago, myself, my brother, my father, we crossed off a bucket list item, and we attended the Army-Navy game in Philadelphia. I fell in love with the game. I thought it was one of the neatest sporting events you could ever go see. So I'm so into the Army-Navy game now. And as you know, coming into this year, Army had the streak that they couldn't win against Navy. They had lost, I think, 14 in a row against Navy.
Should have been 15.
Well, if it was 15, I'd be wearing that right now. So.
Have you ever been, Connor?
I have never been.
Oh, my God.
Cross this off your list one day
Oh,
because it is a phenomenal event.
It looks like a lot of fun.
So with Jesse's got a brother-in-law who is a midshipman. Jesse, before coming to 12th Man Productions, worked in Washington, D.C., but you resided in Annapolis, Maryland, correct?
For 5 years, I was at City Dock, Ego Alley, as most people know it. I lived about a mile away. The Academy, if you ever get a chance to go to it, it's absolutely amazing. At noon, especially the 1st of July, most people would know that's when all the fish come in, and you can see them at noon, try to line up, and it's got a little tamer these years than what it used to be, but it is definitely a sight to see. As Will said, bucket list, Army, Navy.
How many times have you been to the game?
3.
3 times.
3 times, all in Philadelphia.
All in Philadelphia. That was my one, and at the Link.
At the Link.
Up in Philadelphia.
At the Link. The higher you go, the more rowdy it gets.
Yes. And we were pretty high.
So the people that were watching it, that's been there before, you will know that there is not a single person that doesn't look like they hit the gym 6 days a week.
Yeah, you sit next to people in full military outfits. They could be 60, 70 years old, and, I mean, they're shredded. These people don't fall out of shape. And you feel well protected in that stadium, I'll tell you that very quickly. But here's the thing. Before this year's game, Jesse and I got together. I went rooting for Army simply because of the streak.
Right.
I would like to see the Black Knights just in the streak so they can get, something out of this game. So we came up with the idea, Army wins, Jesse, who has ties to the Naval Academy, he's got to wear the sailor's outfit on the red zone. Navy wins, I've got to wear it on the red zone when you show up. Lo and behold, Army stops the streak with a long march down the field at the end of the game when they were down.
All right. West Point couldn't do it on their own, so they had to go infiltrate Navy's coaching staff. And go pick one of their own to try to beat the streak. Let's just clear that up.
That's true. The Army head coach, Todd Monken, he was on Ken Niumatalolo's staff at Navy. So, yeah, they went and picked off a midi to help him in the streak. But, lo and behold, Army wins. It's a game of honor, and you got a man of honor right here. He stands up to his word.
Looks very honorable.
Look at this.
If I stand up, you can see that I got everything issue on except the scarf. I could not find it. There is definitely some non-Navy resemblance. I do not fill out the top, and the pants, they don't make my size, so they're a little snugger on the waist.
Don't make your size.
I believe standard issue is a 36. People like me that are engineers, we sit in a chair a lot, so 36 is usually not in our range.
So, I don't know. Maybe we'll make this a yearly thing.
Oh, I'm hanging it up in my office so we can look at it for the rest of every year.
Oh my God! I mean, you got to Snapchat this, man. You always Snapchat your
that's
guests,
true.
man. You got to Snapchat the Admiral here on
Right,
with what he's got going. But I mean, like Jesse said, cross this game. Anybody listening, anybody watching us on YouTube, I mean, just cross this game off your bucket list if you ever get a chance to go to it. We went a year ago, and we were already talking about, give me 5-10 years, I'll have the itch to go back. And we're already talking to friends about going back to the game. It actually falls perfect for all of us because it's that standalone game at the end of the year. And one of the things that we've kind of saw, Jesse, is they're at the moment looking at moving the game around.
Correct.
And it could come to the state of Texas at like a Jerry World or Houston, but I don't know. I'm a purist. I just think the game belongs on the East Coast.
When I was growing up, it was in Veterans Stadium. I believe it got moved because of the railing that fell.
Oh.
And just me growing up, I grew up on the East Coast, and Army Navy was that one tradition that you always watch. The football wasn't that great, but you felt a little patriotic, and the whole atmosphere, and everybody's really fighting for one team, and to look at the people that are there from the academies, both West Point and the Naval Academy, and realize that those guys were as I can't remember what the naval commander that retired this year, but as he said, everybody's going pro after that game. They're going to fight for the country. So it's
awesome.
wonderful to go see. I will say my last thing about this is go Army. Do not beat Navy. I really messed that one up. Go Navy, beat Army.
Yeah, for 2018.
For my brother-in-law, who's a lieutenant commander, Ryan Martin, I wore this for you. He is serving in Coronado right now on a minesweeper, and we're proud of him. And
good deal.
I'll wear it with pride.
Good deal. Very nice. Very nice. So, Connor, when you get the chance sometime in December, get to this game.
Without a doubt.
Whether it comes to Texas like a Houston or Dallas, or whether it stays on the Eastern Seaboard. But man of honor over there. Thanks for doing it, Jesse.
No problem.
You stood your ground and a man of your word.
Tune in the next year for Will Johnson in his sailor uniform, this exact one.
The game's back in Philly.
USS Rodney will be on his shoulder.
Go Army, beat Navy. That's all I'll say for 2018 to keep me out of that uniform. Connor, thanks so much for the time. We'll keep catching up with you throughout the spring. Jesse, you too.
Thanks, Will.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, Will.